Good evening. It began with silence, not the peaceful kind, the kind that feels wrong, the kind that lingers too long after a phone should have been answered, after a message should have been returned, after someone should have walked through the door. Phyllis Summers was many things, complicated, fearless, unpredictable, but one thing she was not, was absent without reason. Jack Abbott stared at his phone, his jaw tightening as the call went straight to voicemail. Again. Phyllis, pick up. Nothing. He tried again, still nothing. Across the room, Billy watched him carefully, leaning against the desk with crossed arms. She ghosting you? Billy asked, half joking, but not entirely. Jack didn't respond. Instead, he replayed their last conversation in his mind. It had been short, too short, rushed, and something in her voice had been off. She wouldn't just disappear, Jack said finally. Billy shrugged. It's Phyllis. She literally thrives on chaos. Jack shot him a look. This isn't chaos. This is silence. Billy's expression shifted slightly, because Jack was right. Phyllis didn't go quiet. She stirred things. She disrupted. She announced her presence. And now, she was gone. They went to her suite. The door was unlocked. That alone was enough to send a chill through the air. Jack pushed it open slowly. Phyllis? No answer. The room looked normal. Too normal. Her bag was there, her phone charger plugged in. A half-finished glass of wine sat on the table. But Phyllis was nowhere. Billy moved toward the table, picking up the glass. Still fresh, he said. Jack scanned the room. Then he saw it. A chair slightly out of place, a curtain not fully closed. Small things. But wrong. Jack stepped closer. There was a struggle, he said quietly. Billy froze. You're sure? Jack nodded. I know Phyllis. Billy checked her phone. Locked. But not completely. A notification flashed. A text. Unknown number. You should have stayed out of it. Billy's expression darkened. Yeah, this just got serious. Jack rarely showed fear. Not like this. Not openly. But now, it was there, in his eyes, in the tension in his voice. This isn't random, he said. Billy nodded. No, it's targeted. Jack clenched his jaw. Then we're already behind. Within minutes, everything changed. No more speculation, no more waiting. They were in motion. Calling contacts, checking cameras, pulling strings. Billy moved fast. Jack moved focused. Different styles. Same goal. Find Phyllis. They got access to the hotel cameras. Billy leaned forward as the footage played. There, he said. Phyllis, walking into her room, alone. Then, 20 minutes later, a shadow at the door, a figure, face hidden, the door opening. And then, nothing. No one leaving. Jack's voice was tight. Pause it, Billy did. Jack stared. That wasn't random. Billy leaned back. Okay, so, who hates Phyllis enough to pull something like this? Jack didn't hesitate. That list is long. Billy smirked slightly. Yeah, that tracks. But then his tone shifted. But this feels different. Jack nodded. Because it is. Wherever she was, Phyllis wasn't passive. She wasn't waiting. She was thinking, planning, fighting, because that's who she was. Phyllis slowly opened her eyes. Darkness, cold, a dull ache in her head. She tried to move. Her hands, restrained. Her breathing quickened. Okay. Think. She wasn't panicking. Not yet. Because panic didn't help. Control did. A sound. Footsteps. Then a voice. Calm, controlled. You always were difficult, Phyllis. Her eyes narrowed. I know that voice, she said. Silence. Then, a faint laugh. Of course you do. We're running out of time, Billy said. Jack nodded. Then we stop reacting. Billy looked at him. What's that mean? Jack's eyes sharpened. It means we start thinking like her. Billy paced. Okay. If I were Phyllis, Jack interrupted, you'd already be in trouble. Billy smirked. Fair. Then his expression focused. But seriously, she wouldn't wait. Jack nodded. She'd leave something. Back in her room, Jack looked again, closer this time, not at the obvious, at the details. Then he saw it. A small mark, on the mirror, barely visible, 3 letters. WHR. Billy frowned. What is that? Jack's expression changed. It's not what, it's where. Billy's eyes widened. Warehouse? Jack nodded. She's pointing us somewhere. Billy grabbed his jacket. Then what are we waiting for? Back in the dark, Phyllis tested her restraints, slowly, carefully. You're not going to win, she said calmly. The voice replied, This isn't about winning. She smiled slightly. It never is, until it is. Jack and Billy raced through the city. Time wasn't just passing, it was closing in. Every second mattered. The warehouse stood silent, too silent. Billy kicked the door open. Phyllis? No answer. Jack stepped in slowly, eyes scanning, heart racing, then a sound, faint, from deeper inside. They moved fast, through shadows, through tension, until they saw her, Phyllis, tied, but conscious, alive, and not alone. The figure stepped forward, and this time, no shadows, no hiding. Jack's expression changed instantly. You, Billy looked between them. Okay, clearly I missed something. Jack didn't answer. Because this was personal. Took you long enough, Phyllis said. Billy laughed nervously. Yeah, well, traffic. Even now, she wasn't afraid. Jack stepped forward. You're done. The figure smirked. No, this is just beginning. Everything happened fast. Too fast. Movement, shouting, chaos. Billy lunged. Jack moved. Phyllis broke free. Just enough. In the end, it wasn't clean. It wasn't easy. But it was enough. Phyllis was free. Outside. Breathing. Alive. Billy exhaled. Okay, I officially hate today. Phyllis smirked. Same. Jack looked at her, not speaking, just checking. She met his gaze. I'm okay. He nodded, but didn't fully believe it. Billy looked between them. So, what now? Phyllis's expression hardened. Now? She smiled slightly. Now we find out why. Because in Genoa City, nothing ends clean, nothing stays quiet, and no one ever really disappears without a reason. Later that night, Phyllis stood alone, looking out at the city, alive, unbroken, but changed, and somewhere, someone was still watching. The city didn't sleep that night, but for Jack, Billy, and Phyllis, it wasn't just another long night. It was the beginning of something far more dangerous. Phyllis sat in the dim light of her suite, staring at nothing. The same room, the same walls, but everything felt different. Because now, she knew. This wasn't random. This wasn't revenge. This was planned, carefully, personally. Jack stood near the window, watching her. You're not telling us everything, he said quietly. Phyllis didn't look at him. I'm telling you enough, Billy scoffed. Yeah? Because kidnapped by mystery psycho feels like a pretty big headline to leave vague. Phyllis finally turned, her eyes sharp, focused. I wasn't the target, she said. Silence. Jack frowned. Then who was? Phyllis hesitated, and that hesitation said everything. Billy stepped forward. Okay, that look? That's not nothing. Who is it? Phyllis exhaled slowly. This isn't just about me, she said. It never was. Jack's voice hardened. Phyllis. She met his gaze. They wanted leverage. Billy frowned. Leverage for what? Phyllis didn't answer right away. Then finally, for you. Jack froze. What are you talking about? Phyllis stood. There are things from your past, Jack. Things you think are buried. Jack's expression darkened. I don't leave loose ends. Phyllis tilted her head slightly. No, you don't see them. Billy's mind was already racing. Okay, wait. So this isn't about Phyllis. It's about Jack. And someone thinks kidnapping her gets to him? Phyllis nodded slowly. Exactly. Billy blinked. Wow, that's actually twisted. Jack paced. This doesn't make sense. Who would go this far? Phyllis crossed her arms. Someone patient. Billy added, someone who knows how we think. Jack stopped. That hit differently, because that meant this wasn't just personal. It was strategic. There's something else, Phyllis said. Both men looked at her. The voice I heard, it wasn't just familiar. Jack narrowed his eyes. You know who it is? Phyllis hesitated, then nodded. I think so. Billy leaned in. Well, don't build suspense, Red. Who is it? Phyllis's voice lowered. Someone we thought was gone. Jack's expression changed instantly. No. Phyllis held his gaze. Yes. The name hung in the air, heavy, impossible, and yet completely real. Billy stepped back. Okay, no, that's not possible. Phyllis replied coldly. They want us to think that. Jack's voice dropped. Why now? Phyllis answered. Because now, you're vulnerable. Billy shook his head. This is bigger than we thought. Phyllis nodded. Way bigger. Jack clenched his jaw. They didn't just take you. Phyllis finished his thought. They're making a move. Suddenly, Jack's phone rang. Unknown number. Billy raised an eyebrow. Tell me that's not... Jack answered. Silence. Then, a voice. Calm. Cold. You're already too late. Jack's expression turned to steel. What do you want? A faint chuckle. You're asking the wrong question. Jack tightened his grip. Then what's the right one? The voice replied, How far are you willing to go? The line went dead. Well, that's comforting, Billy said dryly. Phyllis didn't smile. They're not done. Jack looked at both of them. No. His voice was firm now, focused. Neither are we. Phyllis stepped forward. No more reacting. We go on offense. Billy blinked. Wow. I like this version of you. She shot him a look. This version survives. Jack nodded. Then we track them, Billy added, and we hit first. Phyllis smiled slightly. Now you're thinking. But even as they spoke, Phyllis held something back, something deeper, because the truth was, she hadn't told them everything. Not yet. Elsewhere. A screen flickered. Footage played. Jack, Billy, Phyllis, every move, watched, analyzed, and then a voice, soft, satisfied. Good. They're exactly where I want them. Back at the suite, Jack stood still for a moment, then said quietly, This ends now. Phyllis shook her head. No. He looked at her. It doesn't end. She stepped closer. It escalates. Billy raised his hands. Okay, just checking. Are we all aware this is getting dangerously insane? Phyllis smirked. You just noticed? Jack's voice lowered. This isn't about revenge anymore. Phyllis nodded. It's about control, Billy added. And whoever this is, they think they have it. Phyllis looked at both of them. They made one mistake. Jack asked, What? She smiled slightly. They didn't finish it. Jack straightened. Billy cracked his knuckles. Phyllis stepped forward. And just like that, the dynamic shifted. No longer victims, no longer targets. Now, hunters. In Genoa City, the past never stays buried. The truth never stays hidden. And when someone comes back from the shadows, they don't come quietly. Later that night, another message appeared. This time, on Phyllis's phone. Round 1 is over. She stared at it, then whispered, Good. Because now, she was ready.